Another win over Coastal Carolina with a score of 65-63. The men's tennis team is full of talent in their lineup this season with 3 returners and 4 newcomers. Reporter Brandon Diaz catches us up on the latest.
One down! Get it done! One down! Showtime! One down! 1, 2, 3! Go!
Defending Sun Belt champions have a busy schedule to start the 2018 season, with 7 of those games starting here at the UTA Tennis Center.
After falling to Harvard in their season opener, the men's tennis team has set high expectations as they continue through the early stages of their 2018 season. With home court advantage, fans still came out to support the team despite the cold weather conditions in Week 2 as they faced off against Seminole State. After the match, junior finance major and returning player Mauricio Del Rio told us who he looks forward to beating this season.
I think Columbia is one of our games that we usually like. It's a very good rival from us, so I think we're looking forward to get ranked beating them.
Junior business major Abhishek Bastola shared his experience in this week's matches compared to Week 1.
I think the team was a little stronger than the first one. I felt like that, and also I won my match. At court 5, it was a battle, but I'm happy to get through.
Assistant coaches Pablo Covey and Luis Granjero stayed home with the men's team, while head coach Diego Benitez traveled with the women's team that afternoon. Both teams will be coming off a victory as they enter into Week 3. Brandon Diaz, UTA News.
You can stay up to date with both tennis teams and their schedules by visiting utamavs.com. So, how about that game last night, ladies?
Yeah, that was an intense one for sure.
What can you tell us about it?
Well, I can tell you that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last night, 41-33. This is the first time in Eagle history that this has happened. The streets of Philly were flooded with people last night as fans celebrated after the win. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles was named Super Bowl MVP. Philadelphia city officials confirmed that a parade will be held on Thursday to celebrate the win.
Yeah, it was an emotional win for the Eagles, for sure. And quarterback Nick Foles put in a lot of work for the team.
I don't know about y'all, but I watched the Super Bowl for the commercials, and there were some funny ones this year. I died at Cardi B's impression of Alexa in the Amazon commercial.
Well, speaking of commercials, it's time for us to go on a break. That's it for your sports segment. Stay tuned because after the break, we have your 7-day forecast.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org. Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
For many students, transferring to a new school can be overwhelming, but Student Affairs is helping students ease that transition. Here is reporter J.R. Azucena with more on Transfer Appreciation Day.
The university kicks off the new semester by welcoming students from around the nation and the world with the celebration of Transfer Appreciation Day.
Coming here and having that, I feel more special and I do feel appreciated. I think it's very important for our transfer students to get that recognition because most people just come here as freshmen.
For students like Emily, This transfer represents a new life in a new city and the beginning of a new academic journey.
So coming here from Oregon, I didn't know a single person. So it took me a few months to get into the swing of things, but I started getting involved on campus.
For so many students, transferring to a new institution could be challenging, but UTA is making that transition much easier.
We want to make sure our transfer students have a very smooth transition to their new university. They've got to make new friends. They've got to understand how this university is different from the previous institution that they attended.
According to the
This year marks the 82nd Cotton Bowl Classic and the 70th for photographer Brad Bradley. What started out as a family business is now a decades-long tradition.
STB played Penn State in the Cotton Bowl in 1948, and that was my first one. And then in 1949, STB played Oregon, and I've been to every Cotton Bowl since.
Just after he returned from his service in World War II, Brad got his start when he and his father-in-law opened up a photography shop. From the mid-20th century to the new millennium, Brad has adapted to many changes in technology.
We started out with film and flash bulbs. Now it has developed into digital and instantaneous images, and I think television is probably responsible for that more than any other one thing.
You may not see Brad Bradley in front of the camera, but you might not be looking close enough.
What's that?
Oh, that is a dead air alert. It alerts nearby staff members when there is silence on the air.
Does it work?
Yep. And that's how UTA Radio works.
UTARadio.com. Online, all the time.
My name is Kevin Reese. I'm the athletic equipment manager for Ohio State football. Unload doesn't take too long with a bunch of hands, maybe a couple hours to get everything kind of set in place.
The 82nd annual Cotton Bowl preparation is underway here in Arlington, Texas. Although the temperatures are barely above freezing and players are getting warmed up, behind the scenes is where a lot of preparation goes before game day. Each team travels, unloads, and uses their own personal equipment, a physical task that must be done in an efficient way.
Yeah, so we take a 48-foot semi-truck and then a 26-foot straight truck to these bowl games to get all the equipment and apparel that we need from Columbus down to Dallas.
From equipment to weights, Kevin oversees much more than that, even the players' snacks.
Our nutrition trunk weighs the most, stacked with a bunch of snacks from Skittles to Pop-Tarts and Rice Krispie treats and everything that players need to be fueled, obviously.
With two teams traveling over 1,000 miles to clash head-to-head in Texas, a lot of preparation goes unnoticed.
I'm Todd Hewitt. I'm the Director of Equipment Operations at USC. I've got 5 full-time equipment staff members that are on the trip with us, and I also have 11 student managers. We brought some of our own weight equipment with us, and that's probably the heaviest thing we have. You know, it's fun being around the kids and the excitement. I was in pro football for a lot of years, but coming back here, there's nothing like the college game, because everything that goes on with the college game, that's what makes the college game so much more fun.
Yeah, it's just a great fun job. Obviously, I would say it keeps me young in terms of being around 18 to 22-year-olds and having student staff that help me out and kind of just doing a little mentoring to push people in what direction of getting into sports and getting involved and having a good time with it.
UTA News, we swallow the reality of the flu and learn tips for staying healthy for the rest of the season.
We also roll into the PE building gym and speak to some members of the Movin' Mavs wheelchair basketball team who were selected to play for Team USA.
And later, one of our reporters hits the streets of campus to ask students what their New Year's resolutions are, and we get tips from a personal trainer on maintaining them. UTA News starts now. Hello and welcome to the first edition of UTA News. I'm Chanel Sassoon.
And I'm Taylor Hetrick. Thanks for joining us this Monday afternoon.
Since October, influenza, better known as the flu, has challenged some students from staying healthy. Reporter Natalie Palacios finds out how we can all keep from getting sick.
Flu season is here, and marketing major Erica Hernandez is not taking any chances.
I do not want to miss any important lectures. I've been keeping a hand sanitizer handy, as well as just washing my hands whenever I touch a door or a very communal surface.
Nursing major and pharmacy technician Alyssa Reyna says that the number of cases of flu has increased since last year.
The flu medication that we stock from the manufacturer is on back order. The increase in the amount of people who aren't just coming in with the flu, but just the sheer amount of flu medication that we're dispensing.
According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, some flu symptoms include fever, cough, sore throat, and fatigue. So how can students try and prevent from catching the virus? Daily hygiene and getting the flu vaccination before the flu season starts.
You can still get the flu shot. That's something that we typically start giving or recommending people get in October, September, before flu season starts so that you have some protection initially.
Natalie Palacios, UTA News.
If you may be feeling symptoms or need more information on getting vaccinated, you can visit uta.edu/health services.
In the wake of the recent government shutdown, reporter Juan Carrera met with members of the community to learn how they reacted in the few days. He also sat down with student body president Katie Gossa to learn how students have a voice in government decisions too.
Yeah, I had a friend who was trying to get a driver's license. She couldn't for the day.
I don't know much. All I know is that how there was this friend of mine. She had to go get her SSN, but due to this government shutdown, she actually faced a lot of problems. That's all I know about this.
With the recent government shutdown, some students are still left with questions to what is going on. UTA professor Marcela Gutierrez gives us her opinion.
It's incredibly difficult to keep up with everything that's happening in politics, and frankly, it can be pretty overwhelming for the ordinary person.
With recent events going on within our government, many students may not feel as well informed as they'd like to be. But UTA student government has resources to help these students out.
One of the biggest things we do a lot of voter registration drives. And so with that, we help students get registered to vote and explain what the process is, how they can vote. A lot of students, when they first come on campus, they don't really know what the procedure is like.
UTA student government will be holding events throughout the year to help students be more informed about what is going on and how their voice can be heard.
I think it's so important for students to get involved because the more involved you are, the more of an impact you can make and make your life and make the life of the people around you better. But that can only be done if you speak up about what you believe.
Juan Correa, UTA News.
Student government will host its next voter registration tabling event from 11 a.m. to p.m. to 2 p.m.
this hat got started in 1974 because the first hat I bought in 1966 fell apart. I started collecting pins then, and I collect the pin from everywhere we go play a team or a bowl, or if it just says Ohio State on it, I collect it and put it on. I graduated in 1966. I try to go to as many games as I can, yes. This hat got 4 pictures taken, just walking around. People said, "Oh, I like your hat, I love your hat. Can I see your hat?" I had somebody try to count one time and they lost count at 80.
What's that?
Oh, that is a dead air alert. It alerts nearby staff members when there is silence on the air.
Does it work?
Yep.